Oh, oh, actually, I usually start on a different page, don't I? Oh, I think we're recording too. Hey, I'm just butchering this today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. Here we are. We're supposed to be over here. Yay. Um, Interesting data actually from the breadth, because I kind of see this. I go through the junior market, and it's getting kind of beat up here in the stock market, and yet the indexes aren't really rolling over because a lot of these indexes now are heavily weighted towards just a few sort of darling stocks. And interestingly enough, from a historical perspective, this is kind of what happened through the 1950s as well. And the 1960s, they called it the Nifty 50, where there were just you know a few dozen stocks that basically lifted the entire stock market. Things like Procter and Gamble and stuff like that. That's when they were sort of into their heyday, servicing that baby boomer generation as it was growing up. I suppose one might argue, what's the proxy that's going to serve the millennial generation as they grow up? My hunch is, streaming online services, social media, video games, probably more sort of. Now, of course, we've conveniently been transitioned onto online learning. Did you see the tweet I put out today? I couldn't believe it. There's this huge push to get the Americans. I don't know whether it's political or not. I'm sure it is to a certain degree. To get the schools back up and running down in the United States for this fall term. And a lot of these universities, actually, they start up classes in like August. I never knew that. I always thought the fall term started up in after Labor Day. But anyway, this was an example where they started up classes, and in the first week, they shut everything down. And literally, we are moving towards an online world. These guys basically said, "Oh, here it is here." So, what shocks me, and this is what's interesting feedback, which is not going to help the situation, is these universities now are saying, okay, well, and this is universities. I'm sure the political thing is about the public school system and stuff like that, but it's just an interesting sort of commentary on the tone. Universities are saying, yeah, you can come back to school, but you have to sign this legal disclaimer. We have no responsibility if you get sick. Is that really a good message to send to people? I mean, are people going to be like, okay, that sounds fine by me? Ironic, and what this is going to do, this is going to reinforce even more of this sort of move towards the online world. So, it's fascinating. The writing's on the wall, and, think about it. Does this help people like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and stuff like that? That was interesting. I was just going through the news articles before I got things going here this morning, and I see that they've basically deemed a new sort of oligarchy class for the United States of America. So meet your new oligarch ruling class, and I'm sure, of course, we've got our oligarchy here in Canada. Just a bunch of handsome gentlemen, eh? Anyway, interesting, and of course, most of these people are going to serve this millennial generation's build out into their new life. So, I am invested in some names like that ZVO, which is now teamed up with University of Arizona, and I can't see how this kind of situation could hurt that investment. If anything, it's probably going to help that kind of investment. So, it's interesting. Writing's on the walls, and I think this drive to get the cool kids back to school here for Labor Day here, this could turn into an absolute mess. Speaking of messes, I think it's probably prudent that as market participants, we should just understand the backdrop of the market. I'm not going to make an endorsement one way or the other, frankly. You all know exactly what I think of politicians. either right wing or left wing. And if you don't know the answer to this question, then maybe you ought to find out. But how can you tell when a politician is lying to you? So that's my interpretation of all politicians, whether they are on the left or the right. I don't really care. But, we as market participants, we should be aware of this. Usually, historically, what I've found is that especially if we have a Republican incumbent, and I lived through the Reagan years, the Bush senior years, the Bush junior years, so lots and lots and lots of Republican presidents that had Democratic challengers, whether midterm or new term. And what I've found, and I think it's interesting historical reference, because if you go back in history, you see a lot of the similar patterns, is that the challenger, usually they actually top out in momentum and in enthusiasm into in this case, the Democratic National Convention. So it is really interesting when we look at the polling data right now. I mean, everybody should see what letter of the alphabet is coming up here. And what letter of the alphabet's coming in here? The irony of it all is, as traders, which trade you gonna take? So, I mean, you never know in this crazy world. We all know what the statistical probability of M's and W's are, but I think this is actually a really good sort of correlation, juxtaposition of sort of fundamentals and technicals. And this is a technical about polling data, which of course is almost exactly the same thing as our conversation about stock market prices or cryptocurrency market prices. Technically, you could make an argument that if the stock or cryptocurrency or commodity is up, well, that means that's a bullish vote, right? And we always say in our education programs that merely price action in the marketplace is nothing more than a reflection of the psychological perception of us silly human beings of this thing called value. So, we have a fundamental event. Historically, markets like to peak into big buy the rumor, sell the news. Historically, the challenger, usually that buy the rumor, sell the news event, happens on the actual nomination. So now instead of it being presumptive candidate, it is now officially candidate, Mr. Biden. And I believe the horse race is now on. And I gotta say, folks, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this school transition event goes. If it goes relatively smoothly and it's perceived to be managed okay because the equity markets are relatively happy and things are tickety-boo, then I think this is going to be a horse race right into the event. This is going to come right down to neck and neck. If, however, this whole transition back into school goes rather poorly, and of course Mr. Trump's back on the air saying outlandish stuff on his daily updates of how the crisis is going. Ironically enough, the one thing, in my opinion, that actually could derail Mr. Trump is Mr. Trump. Ironically enough, if Mr. Trump actually just minds his P's and Q's and tries to just be a good citizen, this election is not decided yet, in my opinion. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Neither an endorsement of either side. I couldn't really care. You all know exactly what I think about politicians. Kind of a funny start to the video here today. I guess in a weird sort of way, it kind of makes up for what I would consider kind of a market. Probably the big thing that jumped out at me today, and I'll be sort of talking to the public, as the U.S. dollar has forged 2 new lows here. Is this a trap? I don't know, but I'll tell you, this is it's quite shocking. Frankly speaking, I did not expect this, and of course that's the job of the market, right? Is it will often do exactly the last thing anyone ever expects. And it's your job as a market participant to, at least, should something happen that you do not expect, it doesn't blow you up. So, I certainly don't have any earth-shattering bets here that are going to destroy my account. I do like the idea, of course, you can even see I've started to draw some 50% rules. I do like the idea of this thing coming back and cleaning itself up a bit, but I'm wondering whether just with both of these chaos levels just floating down here, I wonder if the market, it just doesn't have any choice. Somebody says, zoom out, you son of a bitch, and you can convertinate this. All right, well, there you go. So, nice, polite community, always exuding the PMA. Just kidding. Totally awesome. And if anything, that's perfect. 1 + 1 = 3. If we all work together, we can become better traders. So thank you for the input there. You can clearly see the original market structure bottom. I'm not quite sure what level we can use as the floor or the ceiling. My hunch is all those lows, and that's probably the clothesline in there. Something like that right in there. So then if we do this entire range, it almost looks to me, is that Kvark or is that going to be Leper Kvark? I haven't seen that crazy Irishman around for a while, but let's see what we got here. Bang! Hey, there you go, 78.6. Interesting. Look at that cluster. So 78.6, 9140 plus the 4.669 here, 9130 plus the 4.669 here, 9119. This is a pretty good chance we're probably heading down to this level. So I mean, I don't know if this gets out. I doubt it, because often when I see these things make another pattern like this, going to the well again and expecting another A, B, C, D here is kind of pushing it. So I'm reluctant to really draw another new bot off of this, but, I suppose you can see it. I'm not quite sure how I'd do this. I mean, would that be 33%? There's 38.2, so we never even got to that. Boom. No, not even. So, oh boy, I don't know. It's not even really set upable for me right here. And, I mean, it's like, do I really want to be buying Canadian dollars here right now? No, actually, I want to be buying US dollars with my Canadian dollars right now. Just sent another big whack over to Sjord to work his magic. Of course, I have these puts on here, and if anything, this is a great analogy. Don't get into the business of predicting markets, people, because you just never know what the hell's going to happen here. You can see where the reload zone is up here. So I didn't have a problem buying some puts here. 70 strike, that's basically implying a test of these lows. Not the best strike price, but anyway, I got it on the book, so you can see it. I bought like, what, half a dozen of these things? Not a hell of a lot of money. But nonetheless, if I can get some sort of topping out pattern here, I would love to add to this trade. But I'm just going to cool my jets for the time being. And it's the same sort of thing in the stock market, where's the stock ones that I have on here that I like to follow? Here we are. So, it's the late summer. It's kind of a wishy-washy market. I don't know what the hell their plan is here. I do like the seasonal trade to be thinking tops. It's interesting how this gold index here is acting. I don't know. I mean, gold, if the US dollar is breaking down in earnest, we probably should see gold move to new highs here. But anyway, we'll be watching for nice W's here. Fascinating how they put this island in here on this ETF. This Dow, you can clearly see my insurance purchases from before I left on my little trip. Probably a little bit early. Well, not probably. It was a bit early. Good part about all this, of course, is you can see where 50% rules are on this dog thing. I mean, I'm thinking up here in the next meltdown. This was an equity purchase, so I don't have any sort of stopwatch running. This was an option purchase, same sort of logic, 50% levels up top here. And actually, I'm thinking about going and buying some more. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Kevin even said that he picked up a couple more of these calls. So that's actually a good segue. Today is Tuesdays. And Kevin, from what I understand, just did an absolutely kick-ass job last week driving the boat. And, of course, Tuesdays, we like to have him on the daily brief. So, Kevin, did you say you went and picked up a little bit more of this?
I did, yeah. I bought one more today.
That's cool.
So
So
yeah,
I might do a little bit of more nibbling on this. We got to get some sort of top that actually comes in on the market. One sort of thinking, I didn't want to buy any more equity in this. I got sort of my equity position on, and yeah, I'm not going to be banging out a double on the equity position. But I did look at this dog and thought, just like the SPX, is it worth it taking a good look at the options and seeing if there's some money to be made there? And interestingly enough, we have this cute little double bottom. I don't know whether that's enough for an actual bottom. You can see I went bought the equity position here. It's not the end of the world. This is typical sort of, Brian's little old lady kind of thinking. And, we'll find out that the W actually does come in off of that level down the road kind of thing. That wouldn't surprise me. And you can see, I mean, it's not huge percentage moves. But I do like to have it on the book. So if the market does break, we got something that's moving up. But I am very interested, and today is Tuesday, so we'll have our TRI SOF meeting tonight. I'm really interested in picking up a call option TRI SOF kind of trade going out into the new year on this ETF. So there's some cute options. They were the February options. 40, I think it was a 48 call, so it gets you pretty close to the money. They were like bid $1.50, offered 2.25, and I threw in a bid for 3 of them at $1.50. I mean, damn, if the market goes to the 50% roll, maybe we have to spend another month or two working down here. Who knows? Maybe the market face rips higher. But this is exactly like that goddamn SPY trade I did with Ryan last year. I blew it out into the end of the year, took the tax loss, thought I was smart. And Ryan was there a month or two later selling doubles and triples and just looking like an OG. So I like the idea of buying into the new year, like those March options on the S&P, and this is a February option I'm looking at on the Dow. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. So as a result, very tough for me to come in on the long side in the market. I have to see something that I really like. And really the only, I gotta say, Jamie's presentation yesterday was pretty compelling to me. There are names in the stock market that I am long that I'm actually kind of like, you know what, do I really need to take this risk? Maybe I'm just going to hop off. So don't be surprised if you hear that, a few of these names that kind of wishy-washy or breaking down. I just say, look at that, I want to walk away. Don't be surprised over the next month or so to see that. I thought this was interesting on the Bitcoin ETF. Look at that goddamn top right at 200%. Sons of bitches. And bang, right down to this 66, the 1.618 level. Remarkable. So what a great analogy of parking garages. We'll see how this goes. That would be funny if this actually did eventually turn into the top. And as we had sort of said before, there were a lot of problems momentum-wise on this push up here. So, if we do roll over here and this is the top in the stock market and risk assets, don't be surprised if this thing has to start working its way back down. And I see that on a lot of names right now. I was a little disappointed these guys. Earnings came out, disappointed. And actually missed. So I really like this as a crypto proxy, and I don't really want to get rid of it because if anything, if we can get dips against these lows, I want to buy. And I think I have orders working for TRI to actually buy this stock down here. But it's such a great example of the whole market just feels like, unless you absolutely knock the cover off the ball with earnings and you're coming out with great numbers. This guy here, I don't know whether this was an earnings move, but really good example of an idea that the TRI SOFers, I think they were kicking around in my absence last week. So, and if I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw some pretty good numbers come out about this thing. I can't remember exactly. But good to see. I can't come in now. Looks like it's already moved. So, but Jamie's name yesterday, really liked the story, and there's a nice bid at the bottom end of the range below value against this original double bottom. I will step in on names like this down at the bottom end of the range. But I'll tell you, I'm not excited about the stock market right now. I'll tell you, it's looking very dangerous. And ironically enough, you guys want to make this really easy. I hate to say it, probably gonna, if anything, spend the fall and complete education programs. Don't even put your money away, and just keep paper trading, getting really really good at trading these setups. Because I think that the next really juicy buying window is probably sometime in like March. So see everybody in 6 months. Off a nice night talking to you. There's a segue for you. And it's going to be like, I could see through this environment if you have individual stories that are actually going to, come out with earnings or COVID or something like that. Okay, fine. Trade your setups and be fucking bulletproof through this shit. Right? And if these things start to break down, don't sort of go, okay, well, maybe it'll come back, But honestly, this is an extremely, especially, like even like the gold names. I mean, this is like a venture cap name that I want people like Josh and stuff to be thinking about. But, you look at this. This is a pretty risky market now we're getting into. I see it right across the board. So it'll be a really interesting conversation to have with the gang tonight. And if I'm not mistaken, I think even Kevin, he was kind of saying there a few minutes ago before, of course, Brian starts his rant. Is Brian ever going to shut up? Who knows? But I'm sure he'll tell you. But he was even saying before we got the call going that he wasn't overly excited about the long side of the market right now. So, when I'm done my rant here, of course, we'll turn it over to him, and he'll probably reiterate a lot of the same sort of messages that I have here. So, welcome to Crazy Crazies. Probably the only thing I'll want to add before I release the Kevin is my 2 cents on what I see happening in crypto and the corn. The problem that I have, I thought this was interesting. I do like to try and sort of get into people's heads and try and see how they see the market. And I really do like having this sort of side by side, because then you can really see the indicators in sort of technicolor. And I've been really watching Sjord's use of Bollinger Bands with RSI studies, and I gotta say this was a very well telegraphed move here. And everything we would really like to teach you. The problem is I don't have this in the education program yet. But just a really, really good example of a squeeze breakout. And of course it translated into a very big move. But of course that's not the situation now. We have the move outside the bands. The bands have now expanded dramatically, which in itself should be a little concerning. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Mary. Oh, so Mary Trader, you're that person who asked? Okay. So that's got to be problematic. You got to look at this and kind of go, we're not in a position where the market is ready to move in one direction, trending-wise, after a consolidation, right? And, we built an algorithm, the 3 thumbs, a while ago. We teach it in the level 2 program, and it really loves when you get these consolidations. As a trader, this is exactly what you want to see in price, all right? This tight consolidation, because it gives you very small risk windows where you can define whether you're right or wrong very, very easily and quickly. And then, of course, couple it with things like indicator confirmation, in this case, volatility breakouts. Of course, we did have the bullish divergence here happening in the MACD indicator, which was a little tell that, hey, get ready, something's about to develop. Really cool application of volume impetus. Hopefully everybody, actually, this is a really good example. Sorry, Kevin. Oh, God, there's so much to talk about. Well, we'll leave this for today. But wow, there's a really, really good lecture there on volume impetus. Absolutely perfect.
Oh man, you had a week off. You gotta get it out.
Somebody remind me to do this tomorrow. Because I got a week there. I gotta fill a full show tomorrow, right? So somebody and there's no you've got your inertia, dude. I don't want to slow you down. You're awesome. And frankly speaking, I want to know what you're seeing. I mean, I already know what I'm seeing, so it's no value to me. Just kidding. Oh boy, look at this RSI div there on the corn here on this move to new highs. Oh boy, be careful, everybody. So dangerous. Interesting how on the weeklies we're painting a bit of a shooting star here now. Coming up against looks like this trend. Well, that's kind of a weird trend line. Oh, actually, that's just off those two weekly lows. You know, which is really cool, and I know where the Colin's still here, but I thought this was hilarious when I saw this earlier. Colin, do you remember when we drew this trend channel? Geez, way back in the winter, early spring there. Hey, there he is. Look how the market has totally respected that goddamn channel, eh? I mean, that your people over at. Oh, Jesus.
Hero.
Thank you.
Hero.
Hero. I don't want to say the wrong name, and I don't want to. That's a bad sign. I should write that down in front of me here, so every goddamn time I say it, I get it right, because it's a little bit insulting to you. Where's my pen? My pen! My pen! Oh, God, when was the last time anybody used a pen? Hero! Damn it! And Colin's a total fucking hero. I bet you over there, they're looking at Colin going, he's our total hero.
I hope so.
I'm going to...
I gotta get that channel back on my chart. I haven't been looking at that thing.
Right, there it is, right in front of my face. So, anyway, point of the matter here is, I bet you Colin's buddies who were desperate to sell there, I bet you they're looking back going, geez, fucking A, why the hell did I sell there? What a fascinating anecdote. That's half of the reason why I like to keep these charts and sort of the studies that we did months ago and see what happens going forward in the future. So this is pretty important, I think. This failure here at this trend line, she's having a really hard time. What you're probably going to find, if this still is a bull, is a bit of a consolidation. Look at Willie. Do we got any business with Willie being like that to be buyers right now? Right? Be careful. Right? This is a daily chart, so all you swing traders and lower time frame traders, right? Do your thing. Actually, that's not a bad segue too. So I don't know how I can do this for you. But there was somebody who asked me, and actually just before we finish this, so this is Bitcoin. The writing's on the wall. I don't necessarily have any quote unquote sell signals. This might be a nice railroad tracks top here. It could be. It's a daily chart, but for Brian to get all bearish, my hunch is we're probably gonna have to do something like a head and shoulders, right? And then Brian's gonna be like, over here. So right now, there's still a lot of sort of back and forthy. And you never know. I mean, that's the top scenario. That's my hunch, but hunches mean anything. Maybe we put in a W and start working our way higher. But the long and short of it here is I do think that there's a bit of consolidation that's needed. And investors, like I said earlier, you really want to invest your money in an asset looks like that. I tried to tell people in the last bull run up. I remember there was a guy I really, really respected in this space that when we were going through this face rip up here, he was like, no, Brian, it's never coming back to the reload zone. That's it. It's never coming back. You missed your opportunity to get in. It will never come back. And sure enough, we had to go through all this shit. And then last year, I didn't have anybody last year. It was interesting. Quite a few people were kind of like, oh, no, this thing can't go on. I do remember this site got really excited when we were hit this level. But same sort of logic. Are we going to come back to reload zones? Well, you can see what happened there. And actually, even we went beyond, right? Remember, Kavarkinator, he got his insane fill, 88.6s. So, anybody in the public who's asking me, well, Brian, should I invest in Bitcoins? Well, the message doesn't change, and it sucks. In this kind of environment, it sucks because it's not easy. The irony of it all, especially when we were trading at or below cost of production and all that kind of stuff, you can go, okay, well, it's pretty simple. If I can buy this asset at or below cost of production, it's a no-brainer. Now here we are, and actually this is what really scares me. Yeah, that's right, Alex. When I give in, the day I give in and say, yeah, fuck it, it's the future, go and market buy it now, there's your top. Thanks, Alex. Love you, babe. Hugs and kisses. Interesting how, and I suppose this makes sense too. We're coming up against these original highs here, and you start drawing reload zones, and gee whiz, the place where you can realistically tell people they can invest their money, ironically enough, it actually won't change here. It'll be basically the same level. The question I have for you, though, here, and I thought this was a really cool study, but I put it away. Stupid idiot. But Shane's still here. I saw him here earlier today. I don't know whether he's here or not. Are you over on YouTube? But Shane's still here. I saw him. I don't see him. Anyway, he was here earlier. I did see that things like Mara, I think it was. Oh, hey, there he is. Wow, he just popped out of nowhere. They announced that they've moved to the S19, and they said something like they bought like 10,000 S19 miners. Meow, meow, meow. So I wonder if we have to figure out what the hell the cost of production for the S19 miner is on your fun little script. 4K. Oh, shit. You want another thing that's so scary? Uh-oh. What's this? Somebody... Oh, geez. You guys, what are you doing here? Finance Yahoo News Marathon Patent Groups announced 23-1... Yeah, that... Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Geez, I just keep talking here. I should shut the hell up. Joshua, that was perfect. Actually, it was weird. I had a dream about him the other day, popping in and just saying, hey, guys, how's it going? Positive karma, but I doubt that'll happen again. Well, that's the irony of it all, Colleen, is they say, careful what you wish for. You might just get it good and hard if the whole damn capitalist system appears to be falling apart here this fall and winter. We get like 3,000 Bitcoin. Will you actually step in and buy where you're supposed to buy? In fact, you can kind of see it now. Can you guys kind of see the cliche? In fact, I think now, you know what? So Daniel, you gotta go and post like a chart like this in the Top Step community and go, well, I see where Mr. Hoagland will buy his beach balls. Hey, oh, there he is. He's already right there. Anyway, I'll tell you, these celestial event. I found this fascinating. I was seriously contemplating this whole celestial event window, and I think this is a really good anecdote for us to understand that just because we have one of these, and they're already sold out too, Wow. So it's interesting how we had that celestial event, and this is how the market pivoted through that. So you never really know when it comes to asset prices what the market's going to do through these kind of celestial event windows. And I think this is a really good analogy that, the market had the green light to go down, but just no sellers showed up, and so as a result, it just stopped and then pivoted, and all right, well, we're beyond that event now. We can start heading back up. And I still fully believe October, November, there's another big one. Now, I don't know whether we bottom in this reload zone or we come down and we fill in this notch on the profile. We bottom in this reload zone. These are nothing more than potential trade locations. And, one might argue, I don't know whether, I think we did talk about this when I was gone, but I think there were like bullish bots set up. So I see 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. I think there was even a bull div in here. So I think you can make the argument there was trade location through that. Yeah, it was to the long side, not the short side. And I think Brian was sort of saying, I'm betting short. And clearly I was wrong. But a really good lesson, right, of how markets act through these pivots. It doesn't mean that the market can crash or it will crash or it will face rip. But it does definitely mean that we should probably be paying attention and just watch how we act coming out the other side of it. Anyway, lots of fun. And actually, remember, when was Shane's big Saturn-Pluto cross? I think it was like somewhere right around here. So here's like, I think, was it, Shane, are you still here? Was it like late January? January 12th. Oh, there he is. Thank you, sir. So that's in through this window here. So interesting how that didn't sort of call a top or a bottom. But I definitely think, it's sort of said, get ready for some volatility. That's not a bad way to look at it. But anyway, trade your setups. Go with your plan. Like Colleen just said here a few minutes ago, if your plan is I want to invest in Bitcoins, I want to invest below the cost of production, and the market starts coming into those levels and it's face ripping down. It's a very hard thing to do, but I'll tell you, like good old Kavarkanator. Actually, maybe I should let him talk now. He stepped in on the buy side. He had the balls, and this is what often happens with those guys that have the balls to come in at appropriate levels. And you want to use that cost of production model to sort of, okay, well, I can only really invest when that level is traded to. I think that's actually, that is sort of that rational analysis that we're really trying to drive home to you guys. Okay, wow, that sure was a mouthful. I don't know. I went off on. Oh, I'm supposed to talk about daily routines.
Yeah, you didn't get into your routine.
All right. So,
well, other than the routine of an hour and a half long rant every day.
Coupled with lighthearted comic stylings from our community. So, as it stands right, I think it's a tool that we have on the site, and it's part of our level 3 program that if you do decide to get serious about a life of trading, and I like the idea of that the level 1 program is just purely designed to get you thinking about building a plan, working with a plan, defining what it is that actually gets you to act. So at least you have some sort of measurement stick of whether your reasons to act are correct or not. Of course, taking appropriate risks. And then, of course, if in that model, and that's sort of the whole idea of releasing the beast from within, you have to ask yourself whether you can actually do what you say you're going to do. And that's a big problem for a lot of people when it comes to investing money, is they just don't do what they say they're going to do. So unfortunately, that's not really part of this equation and this question, really. That's though, I want you to be building, and if you need to start at like weekly charts, daily charts, you need to do this for 6, 8, 12 months before you actually put any money into this. Learn those 2 setups. I mean, there's tons more setups as your sort of education evolves. I like the idea of the level 2 program, keeping you adding more reasons to justify taking trades so your setups can get a little bit more sort of individualized and perspective wise. But take the time, first off, the level 1 program, you're just learning this shit for the first time. So that's like information overload. I like the idea of people in the level 2 program just taking that next 3 to 6 months and just sort of, I'm here to learn this, to practice, to get better and better every day. And the good part about it is if you take that like entire duration, what you really need to see, and for you to fully understand the capitalist game, is you must see the market for one full year. So you understand seasonally how markets behave during different times of the year. So right now we're sort of like, oh, well, it's the summer silly season. You guys have all seen what these silly altcoin prices have been doing recently. Is this normal? Would you find this kind of behavior the middle of November, December? Absolutely not. Unless you get one of those crazy 1 in 5 years where the market rallies into the end of the year, which does happen, but that's actually not a good sign. That's usually the end of the move, not the beginning. So if we do rally and face rip hard up into the end of the year, that in itself is incredibly valuable information. But the point here is if you do the whole process for a full year, then you can start understanding things like 52-week ranges. Why do 50% rules work? That kind of stuff. Why do W's work? Why do M's work? So you got to get good at that. Now, once you sort of understand what setups you like, then we can start moving on to, okay, well, what does and I want to start trading lower time frames. I want to start, running my small business of trading. What does that look like? And this is actually sort of our first conversation back for the level 3ers, who I figure that once you're at that sort of level 3 stage, you're at the point where you're serious about this and you'd actually like to consider this as a profession. So, we spend quite a bit of time going through what does your trader checklist look like. This happened to be my trader checklist for when I was a prop trader trading crude oil for TopStep. And every single day, every single box has to be filled out and appropriately labeled. You can see, value high, value low, yesterday's POCs, reload zones, targets on potential setups, everything. Well, even before the day starts, I have to go through a checklist of stuff that has to be all completed even before the opening bell, right? Do I have all my charts ready? Do I have my levels? Have I identified the trends? Everything has to be done ahead of time. Now, if you're swing trading, you might want to change this to like every Sunday. I'm going to go through this process of, maybe what is my setup. The great part about the site is now we're almost at the point. Almost. We're getting there. And the objective is for the end of the year for this basically to be up and running. We have long-time site members who actually build setups that we'd like to have available for you to consider. The Altangonator and the bot, I would like to ideally have all available for you. And then, of course, individual site members, they're working away on building their individual screeners. And if you happen to like the screen that they've seen, you can subscribe to their feed and add it to yours. And they get a nice little reimbursement. So it's a 1 + 1 = 3 for everybody all around. But that's automated. As it stands right now, everything, to all intents and purposes, still very manually driven. So you're going to have to know what your setup is. You're going to have to clearly identify what the criteria is. Now, like I said, the person asked me specifically about swing trading. I know Josh Morris, such a great resource. I don't know whether he talked to you guys through the week there while I was gone or not, but he did a fantastic presentation of a nice swing trade checklist, database. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we even added it to the library because it was so good. Here we are. So, something along these lines. Have everything all set up, and you can see he has all his criteria of what he needs to see. Just got to make damn sure you're bulletproof, that every single box is green. There's no reason why you can't start at a 4-hour chart setup. I think it's a good idea. this is a day trader, and frankly speaking, if you're a day trader, I think you really only want to concentrate on a few markets that you really like. And you have to completely vet the setup, because quite often it means coming in and buying like against lows, selling against highs. Day traders, their markets range 70 to 80% of the time, so obviously day traders, they're more sort of oriented towards range trading. But there's no reason why you can't, ultimately build things like the El Tangonator, which is a great, or bot setup screens. Have a list. I think it's a good idea. If you are trading, I like to create like a short list of the assets that I really like. And in essence, this is my fundamentally screened short list, and it's my shopping list. Whether it be names that were kicked around on the TRI SOF meetings, whether it be research that I've done on my own, whether it be me just simply riding Kevin's coattails, which I love to do. This is my shopping list. So I've created a shopping list, and there's no reason you can't approach this from a swing trading perspective. For instance, here's a good example. On the screeners that are just sort of building out, we had a beautiful off the daily charts. Of course, you know how much Brian loves his key reversals. We had just the most beautiful outside downside key reversal fire right here. This, you can see it's on the screen. If I was thinking about swing trading, I'd just zip down to like say a 4-hour chart, and I would be, you could even now this comes down to what is your setup. Now at this point you have to apply all your setup criteria to the trade. I can't speak to that. You know how deep our school is. There could be a gazillion reasons. Are you a value person? Are you a levels person? Are you a candlestick person? Are you a key reversal person? Are you a RSI fan? Are you a Bollinger Band squeeze fan? Are you a Willie fan? Are you a volume impetus? It goes on and on and on and on and on. Whatever your criteria is, swing traders, no reason why you can't build a 4-hour checklist. I've got my double top. It's actually been confirmed. I got my key reversal, and I'm waiting for my 4-hour signal here to get short. So, and then of course it's just simply, if this is your shopping list, okay, well, so be it. Trade came in. And then back to our conversation about good old Josh. You just got to get in there and you got to log the trade. What the hell did I do with that? I guess that's over here. Right? I'm going to log my trades and just everything, you can see everything's all lined out. The great part about this is Josh has done all the work for you. All you got to do is just define what your setup looks like, build your universe of fundamentally screened ideas, and get in there and start hunting. Really, really simple. So I hope that helps. But basically, that's what I'm thinking, especially when I'm sitting in the lounge. The most important thing for me to be thinking about things like long ideas, if I'm hunting long ideas, the very first thing I want to do in the morning is I want to pull up the dashboard and I want to say, okay, what's the breadth telling me? And the cool part about this is, you guys can see, is this kind of a market state that I want to be aggressively hunting long ideas? And no. And this is why I needed Stuart to build this for me. It makes my life really easy. I don't know whether you guys noticed from about sort of the last few days. Remember, what was that guy's name? Larry Williams. He said, there's going to be a big top in the market at the end of the month. You notice stock market really hasn't done a hell of a lot. Kevin and his crew, of course, they're banging out their crazy-ass wins, and the altcoin markets are going nuts, right? All that kind of talk, right? Which is so typical at the end of the move, right? Typical. But I can't hunt new ideas as long as this looks like this. I don't know whether you guys were paying attention, but when this pivot came in, right, that was that July 1st. Remember we talked about this just a minute ago? When that July 1st pivot, the Bitcoin pivot there you saw there, that was one hell of a rally window. Can anybody attest to me, all you TRI SOF Club guys? Did you book some good wins through this rally window? We were buying shit in here. And fuck, man, this was a hell of a rally. So until this cleans up, I gotta just sort of say, you want to make it one sort of criteria. I only hunt long ideas in the market when this thing is turning back up here, okay, that could be part of your checklist here as one of your criteria. Bread's got to be positive, got to be pointing up. Hey, I tell you, it works pretty damn good. And right now, I as long as that breadth indicator looks the way that it does, I'm just not that interested in the long side. I've got a lot of long on, don't get me wrong, but I'm very leery about buying and spending any money right now, and I'm actually thinking about lightening stuff up. So, okay, I hope that helped with regard to swing trading, sort of what's your daily plan. Like I said, I actually would suggest you go this checklist route, but this is for the professional. And frankly speaking, as a student of the market, if you're in level 1, you're not ready for this. You just aren't. I actually want to see you put in a good 6-8 months and learn all of these gazillion technical tools. Colleen, I love to bug her. Was it worth your while to go through the level 2 program and learn things like volume profile after the level 1 program so you could understand the value of volume profile? And she says, completely, of course. How about trend line analysis? How about moving averages? Of course, where's Seb? And actually, Seb was doing some great work on those options. Turns out they're writing shitloads of the December and the March Ethereum 220 and 240 put options. Or calls, beg your pardon, calls. So you can clearly see somebody is trying to cement a ceiling top in the Ethereum market here. Fascinating stuff. But Seb's work with GAN, was it worth your while? Any GAN fans here? Was it worth your while after the level 1 program just adding Mr. GAN to your tool belt so you could clearly understand that conversation? And there we go. Gang, the GAN gang. So the point here, GAN fan, that's good, is if you are in the level 1 program, well, you just completed it. Awesome. You now understand what the hell running a small business of trading looks like. Way to go. Are you actually even ready to throw real money at the market from a running my small business of trading perspective? I actually don't think so. If you were insanely diligent and you were hunting setups like a madman and you could show me like 20 paper Eltangonator trades and 20 1/10 account size paper trades, all executed to perfection, then I'd be like, okay, I think you're ready to go here. But frankly speaking, I haven't seen that in 5 years teaching, so I don't expect to see it anytime soon. And I challenge anybody. You want to prove me wrong? Show me. Frankly speaking, I like Grimm's approach where he says, you're all in level 1. You're here because you don't know how to do this. So why not take the time and really learn how to do this? Just learn to do it right. Do 100 paper trades. I guarantee you by the end of that 100 paper trades, you're going to know these damn setups backwards. You're going to be like the most gnarliest, oldest trader. You're going to see everything that you need to see in the market, including probably being around a good year or so, working away on your education before you actually can deem yourself, hey, I'm ready to go as a pro trader. And like I said, I don't even really like to even show this kind of stuff and talk about this kind of stuff, setting yourself up as a day trader until you get to actual God mode, because I just don't think you're ready. If you just joined the site and you're like, well, Brian, I've been trading 20, 30 years. I just want to see, what your perspective is, that kind of thing. And I'm not too concerned about trading plans. I do that. I trade setups, whatever. And you're kind of looking for this kind of resource. Okay, well, just PM me. We can have a conversation about this kind of stuff. But my hunch is that's the exception, not the norm here. But anyway. Okay, what do you think, Kevin? Did that help answer that question? I gave you 4 minutes, so that should give you lots of time.
Yeah. Good job.
I don't know. Can I get a consensus from the audience? I don't know if that person who asked the question's even here, but did that sort of answer your question? Did it speak to your question? Would you feel as though if you asked what a swing trader sort of daily plan should look like, and did that sort of speak to you? Anyone?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay, awesome. Okay. We got a couple minutes here before the top of the hour, and I love to hear what's on Kevin's mind. I do understand that things went fairly well last week, so super, super pleased about that. I will stop presenting now, so Kevin can present because we're on the same account here, running these shows. So Kevin's got the ball here, and really, ooh, look at that. He's already got something for you to consider. Okay, so
Yeah.
you got the floor. Tell us what's on your mind here today, sir.
Cool. Like I did want to add one thing to like routines and stuff, just because you were talking about it. I think it's a good idea for everybody to also find like some sort of wellness type routine to get into, like whatever suits you. You know, like me personally, I like to, I don't day trade per se, so I don't wake up and do a checklist like Brian every day. Like Brian was just showing you, because I don't actually, that's just not how I operate in the market. But I do like to wake up and do something to get my head straight a bit. And, one thing I like to do is like a gratitude journal. I think that's like a good thing to keep on a daily basis. I do my best every day. Just in the mornings, I essentially just write 3 things I'm grateful for. I also like have recently started adding I'll like try to write like some like wants, like what am I looking to. I kind of took that from Joshua's PMA presentation actually a while back, where I try to like sort of state some like I guess desires in a way, like things that I would like to achieve in the future, or like especially with trading, a lot of time it's trading oriented, like what kind of things do I want to work on to try to advance my trading. These are like just big, broad, general things. I think they just kind of help me sort of like set my day off right, because if I don't do that and like get in kind of like more of an anxiety riddled mood or something, or if I don't do anything to like sort of set the stage for myself, then I don't do as well in general. So I try to add something like that to my routine. And I know like Grim, like
where's Joshua's hashtag? Come on, Joshua, give me an hashtag.
oh yeah.
Come on, you can do it. Oh, he's probably driving.
He's driving right now. If
That
you want to be
was great
super
value,
hardcore,
everybody. Of course, Brian thinking gnarly trader dude, but I have to say, lots of people, and if you want some help with further information on that, check out Dr. Menaker's links in the library about setting yourself up for success. What I used to do at the prop firm, and a lot of guys used to do this, is positive visualization. Actually visualize yourself, and if you want to go through the process to start your swing trading day, totally awesome addition, visualize yourself entering the trade exactly correctly at exactly the appropriate levels. Visualize yourself watching the market move in your direction where you expected it to go, and visualize yourself actually ringing the register, taking profits, and booking the profit. You'd be surprised. If you actually just go through the visualization process, as it actually happens, you're like, holy shit, this is exactly how I visualized it to happen. It's freaky.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
So that's some more stuff. So a little bit of PMA. You want to add a column in your spreadsheet. What's my PMA thought for today? And of course, Kevin, beautiful karma, and a lot of you site people. You're so much better people than I am. What a great thing to say. What am I grateful for today? You can't think, and this is why I like having Kevin on the calls here. I mean, that's a great thing for us to be thinking about on a daily basis. And I forgot to say that. So thank you.
No, that's good. Kevin. Yeah. And sometimes it's not easy. And then I also don't try to use like big lofty things. Sometimes they're just really simple things, just little things that I noticed maybe the day before, or just things that I want to remind myself that I'm grateful for. Yeah. No big deal, but it helps a lot. It really does. I've like seen it. Like if I'll slip and don't do it for a couple of weeks, I can like look back on that time and actually see how, maybe I slipped into like a more negative mood, or, was being run by something else. So
Totally.
But it's cool.
We often forget about the things that we're thankful about, eh? We just sort of focus on the problems.
Yeah, we always remember all the bad things. Yeah. It's super easy to, or remember your worst trades, whereas, it's hard to go back. I mean, maybe that's like a good thing to do actually, is just go back and review your trades. I think that's healthy for everybody, and maybe try to draw.
I think it's a really good idea. I'm hearing lots of journal entry stuff here.
Totally.
And I think as swing traders, I think it's incredibly valuable, especially as a student on the weekends. And try and make a religious event that you go back and you review the past week, your journal entries, and that gives you an opportunity to really ask yourself, am I actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Totally.
And gives you an opportunity to sort of hit the reset button. Whoa, slow down. So yeah, I don't think it's a good idea on your daily routine to review your journal, because that's just too much. If anything, what you really want to do is just, and then in the level 1 program, every day, what did I see? What did I learn? How did I feel? Right? Those, you gotta always be asking yourself those questions.
Totally. Yeah, we should pick up this conversation more often. It'd be cool if we made it more of an effort to kind of review trading psychology type stuff.
Well, I like the idea, Kevin, and maybe you can volunteer to do this. That would be wonderful. But I love the idea of us having like a theme for the day, and maybe we set up like a 2-week schedule or something, and then once every 2 weeks we sort of cycle through a specific theme.
Totally.
Maybe one day it's the COT reports. Maybe one day it's journaling. Maybe it's one day it's logging. Setting yourself up for success. Maybe one day it's momentum indicators. That'd be kind of a cool thing to do.
Totally.
But it would require somebody volunteering.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, maybe everybody could send me feedback about that, like what they want to see, and we can just start hashing out some ideas.
Totally. Cool. And I'm just kidding, of course, sir. That's silly Brian sense of humor. All right, so we all got to go market buy this thing. Is that what you're telling us here?
No, not really. Actually, it's just kind of.
Energy?
Yeah, this is my Grecian tanker stock, but I just had it up on the screen. I don't know. I was going to kind of just reiterate what you were saying through actually seeing some of my most recent trades are kind of failing a little bit today. Like today's a little bit of a down day for them. I was noticing, and I don't know. That might be just kind of testament to the state of the market, like kind of just what you're saying. I think we are getting towards the end of the long hunting season for stock market. And like this trade,
I mean, I don't want to buy anything, but gee whiz, that gap right there. Fuck, if I was going to be a buyer, that's exactly what I'd want to be a buyer.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I mean, this trade's not done yet, but
for a guy like me, it's just coming into my entry window.
yeah. So I mean, everything's still. I mean, there is a little bit, or I guess there's not a bearish div here.
No, there's no breakdown.
So yeah, I mean, there's no breakdown here, but this trade was going great, and now it's backing off today, which is fine. I mean, I don't think it's done by any means. If anything, it's just coming back against this W right here in this gap, like you're saying. So hopefully we catch a bounce here.
And are these guys in the oil services industry?
The oil services, yeah.
So
tankers.
You might want to ask, what's Schlumberger doing? What's Halliburton doing? They'll give.
Yeah,
you an
well,
idea.
a few of us are actually in the Schlumberger bot. Before you left town, we actually were talking about this, and I'm in this trade, and it's just sitting there really still.
Exactly the same thing.
It's not doing much. So hopefully I kind of got interested in oil names. I think I talked about that a bit last week, and even the week before you left, I think we were talking about this one and some other. And so I know you're not that into oil, but we were getting, some of us were kind of interested in oil names. This was kind of the one we were basing it off.
Just because Brian thinks something, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, you can see the bot LJ came in.
The Arabs and the Jews are making peace. What the hell, man? We're all gonna be swimming in free oil. Woohoo!
There you go. Yeah.
And did you hear Mr. Trump wants to open up Alaska Wildlife Refuge to oil drilling? Woohoo!
Oh, jeez. So short pigeon or short seagulls and long oil.
The poor seals, they're toast.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't need to spend tons of time on the stock market, I suppose. I was going to show a couple of my recent trades because none of them, they're just all kind of not doing anything. That TMP was one. ARLP is one that David O came up with. This is an energy name. You can see this thing crapped out on me today too. It was looking pretty good.
Well,
Came down and filled this gap right here. It looks like.
still, but all this does, it just looks like a pullback in a bull market.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's done or anything. Like,
What's
I mean,
the
it's
4 hour
certainly,
look like?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really here to say. I'm not gonna like run and hide from this trade or anything. It's just gonna play itself out either way. But I guess I wonder how much steam's left in the market. Is all I'm saying. I'm not seeing a bunch of new trades coming in.
But didn't that stock move up like 30-40% there?
Yeah. This thing moved up a lot. Or wait, what are you talking about? This?
Yeah,
This
like
move?
from off that breakout, that's 326, and it jumped up. How high did it get? 390.
Yeah, no, it must have just been like, well, from my buy level, it was only probably 20% or something, 17%.
Yeah, it's pretty respectable.
So, I mean, nothing here, and I was just working my target off this chaos level for fun and just,
Looks perfect. Do a 50% level from the low back up to the high. I bet you that's like perfectly aligns.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, look at that. It's exactly.
Perfect.
So yeah, ARLP. This is one of my more recent trades. I didn't really. That SEAC one's a couple weeks old now, and it's just kind of going sideways. It actually broke down a little bit today. So I mean, if this one loses this low, I don't know. It's probably trade's probably over. The bearish MACD div didn't quite confirm yet. Looks like it could, but. So this one's grinding sideways with a little bit of breakdown. I did walk away from Envis. I kind of just asked myself why I was even in this trade. It did break the low. I had gotten a double off up on this, and then I just reloaded on it. And I didn't really have a setup. I bought this kind of wonky W breakout, and I was just kind of thinking it would get up here and fill this gap. But after it broke this low yesterday, I just kind of, I'm still on 4 hour here, but I just really realized that I shouldn't be in this trade. I mean, I was thinking, there is this W breakout here. It's just coming down against it. It might turn around and move higher. OBV looks a little bearish to me. And then, MACD's breaking down too. So I went ahead and let this go. I didn't need to sit in this trade any longer. So
probably the best thing for all of us to learn through this is don't be in trades that you're not comfortable in. It's your money. Yeah. If you're not comfortable, get the fuck out.
Yeah, I don't need to be in here. So yeah, anyway, that was one I walked away from. But maybe we'll just move on to crypto just because there's not that much time left. So, and I wish I had some, I don't have any long ideas in the stock market. Here's another long that I'm just sitting in. It's Twin. These are sort of more recent longs that haven't done much yet. I did kind of like that one you guys were talking about yesterday, the BYSI. Beyond Spring. Yeah, it looks like I don't have a bid working, but this morning I went and just drew these two lines here, and I could see, I mean, it looks like you could easily get filled here on the breakout or at this gap if you were interested in this one. MACD divs in, nice W's here in RSI and OBV and stuff. Willie was stupid. So this one looks good, though. I think the only thing we had noticed yesterday, the numbers look pretty good on that one, except for the price to book ratio, if I remember correctly. I know I said I was going to go to crypto, but let's just look really quick. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. 18 PB. There's not a lot of data like on how much cash they have or anything like that. So, but
18 times book. Wow.
Yeah, so that kind of stood out. I think Cave Bear pointed that out yesterday, and I was like, oh wow, let's chart looks great, but that's not such a good
that's there's these biotechs, right? So if they come out and they say, "Hey, we cured cancer," well, they go fucking go crazy.
And they're just kind of bleeding a little bit of money, it looks like. So
yeah, it's not a value play, and if anything, this is a perfect analogy of the market state here, guys. This is a perfect analogy. It's kind of like when you can't, probably buying any gold stock is going to be like this. I gotta admit, I was quite shocked to hear Warren Buffett get all bullish about gold stocks here.
I didn't he go and buy Newmont or something? Did he go buy Newmont? Is that what I heard?
I think it was Newmont or Barrick. I can't remember.
Oh, Barrick. It was Barrick. Sorry.
Yeah, they got
whoops.
they got no. The symbol is gold now. How the hell did they get that fucking symbol?
So was he in here buying? That was like 2 days ago. Was he buying down here maybe?
Probably. And you know, I mean, the funny thing is everybody. Kevin, do us a favor and throw some bot levels on there. You can probably see it. He probably bought the goddamn bot level.
I mean, looks a little high, but maybe.
No. There's no way he would. The stock gapped higher.
Oh yeah, where he would have bought. Yeah, of course.
On the news that he bought, but he was probably buying much earlier. And I wouldn't be surprised if you find out in hindsight his average cost is our funny little bot level. Oh, bot trade. There you go. Bang. So actually, I think we did these up a while ago. I mean, why? I mean, I don't know what level he came in on, but like if he bought last week, that would technically be the bot entry level.
I'm sure it was down here somewhere.
And then you can see the original market structure. It's kind of a sloppy double bottom, but I suppose it's there.
That's funny. Yeah, well, there you go, Warren. Well, everything's crazy right now, so.
Yeah. Let's look at. I mean, maybe he's more trading. Maybe he's. But I found it fascinating that he said he came in on the long side here.
Well, I mean, gold price still has some room to move higher.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why this market can't go parabolic into that Jupiter-Saturn cross. This is exactly like 1980. It's almost identical.
Yes, I guess for me, really, I'm more excited about altcoins right now, and I'm wondering if there's any room to squeeze anything more out of altcoins. And I think there is. This is one I bought sometime in the last couple of days. I think I got filled on that pullback right here.
Singles! I remember this.
Yeah, singles. I've seen a lot of people talking about it in the lounge too.
Cool.
It's basically what I'm always looking for here. You know, my Mac. You know, this one, the W came in. You know, the MACD div confirmed on the W, so it's not really. You know, this is some sort of like, you know, really, it's not like a true Eltanganator where I'm waiting for the W to come in now after the MACD div confirmation. I'm sort of like sharking this thing and just buying the W breakout. But nonetheless, I like RSI breakout here.
That looks good.
You know, Willie did get stupid. Location's good. You know, it's down 88.6-ish, I'm sure, if you drew your reload zones here.
Yeah, that's really
So I like singles, and there's another. I mean, there's a few that look a lot like this. Some of them are higher up in the reload zone, and this one's a little bit. I kind of like this one a little more just because it was down by 88.6. I think like a Go is another one that looks almost the exact same as this. I was talking about this on Friday. This one, well, on Trex, it looks a little better on Binance. I think that tail kind of. I mean, it's something to be aware of on
Man, those Trex guys won't give me my fill on Ubic. Pissing me off.
Oh yeah, Ubic. Yeah, Go's sort of the same thing. You know, it was kind of a little bit above 78.6 here at the breakout. MACD div came in, and I got filled on both these lines here on this candle move down. So we'll see if it can bounce. You know, this trend line. I mean, of course, the LJ would be better to wait for a W on the other side of this trend line here, but nonetheless, this is an altcoin that I've recently taken. Still opportunity to get into that one. I saw somebody talk. I think Steven today was talking about this BPT. This is on KuCoin. I kind of like the looks of this. I haven't done anything here yet, but I do like it. I zoomed out here and look at this 88.6 tag right here. I noticed first right off the bat. That's like classic Leprechaun here. You know, buying that breakout. So if you could have gotten in down there, that was a sick level. And then of course this W here. You know, already a chance to get filled. I wasn't in that, but I think I'm gonna go look at this name a little closer. I don't know, have any idea what they do or anything, but I saw Steven posted earlier. I do like it. The MACD div came in here, and then you know, everything looks pretty good. RSI is a nice W here at the 50 line, kind of popping up. So I like BPT. That one looks good. I was noticing, I was kind of looking for weekly W's, you know, of course, and I did notice like Civic against BT. We were talking about Civic USD last week, and then this week I noticed that it's just put in a nice long wide bottom. So this one's getting into like weekly W land. I think on the weekly chart it does. Yeah, look from the weekly chart, it looks really good.
It does.
Yeah, so against Bitcoin, you know, that thing looks like it wants to break out.
I think I'll go buy some.
Yeah, Civic, and we were looking at it. We were looking the other day against USDC, and there's a bot that's. See, do I have the bot drawn up? Yeah. Oh, the bot completed. Yeah. So looks like the bot, you know, against the USD chart, the bot did finish, and still no bearishness coming in. So it looks like Willie's almost stupid and kind of putting in an M. But other than that, I think that kind of looks like. Well, it's sort of head and shoulders. It's not really. The neckline's kind of sloping too much, but yeah, Civic looks pretty good, especially against Bitcoin. I suppose if
yeah, some nice bids. Not a bad idea at all.
so there's one that might still have some room to move. Kind of cross that I missed. This is a perfect example of not doing what I said I was gonna do on this poly. I mean, it's okay. Like this poly level one I think it was WSJ USA or something. He was talking about this here on this breakout, and I basically told myself I'd go in here and wait for the MACD div to confirm and then work my bids. The breakout level, and you see I would have gotten filled on this tail, but I didn't have my bids in. And so I didn't get in on this trade, and now it's just kind of going, which is cool. I didn't really love location here because, I mean, when it's up closer to Mountain Man, the W breakout for me, that's not really what I would prefer down here, you know, 78.6. So, but nonetheless, I liked how it was coming in, and I wanted to get long this one. I actually have I think I have 500 of these that I got for free back in 2017. So I am long, only 500 of them, but that's just I got them from like an airdrop in 2017. But it might only even be 250 of them. I don't remember. But anyway, Polly, I like this one, but it kind of got away from us. So I'm not sure anybody that did get in on that. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I might have a couple more. I think I'd like that nulls. I haven't done anything here yet, but I saw people talking about this one. This is kind of the same thing up near Mountain Man. So MACD div is in. You know, location's okay. It's not great. We're not even in the reload zone right now. A little W did come in, so I'll keep watching this one, but I don't know. It doesn't look. I'd prefer again to get down lower in the reload zone or below. People have been talking about ETC, and it looks pretty good. I don't know if there's any sort of FA driver for why this might get going, but definitely like location here. That's probably closer to, I don't know if you use this tail or not. It's probably not even on Binance, that tail. But even with that tail, we're sitting at 78.6. So I like location here. Kind of a wonky little W there. Not seeing much else in the indicators. Maybe some like Davo-y type action trying to come in. But I like the idea. I think somebody, maybe it was PMA Bull Alex, was saying maybe Ethereum miners start pointing their miners towards ETC because ETC will stay proof of work, even though Ethereum's supposed to go proof of stake. I don't know if that's a viable use case for ETC or not, but something to keep an eye on. I think USD, it looks against USD, it just sort of looks. I think there was, this kind of ABCD is trying to work its way higher, so that makes sense. You know, I'm sure that's probably getting up to Mountain Man on the short reload zone. So something like that. Yeah, you can see Mountain Man's going to be that ABCD target. So I imagine this is at least going to pop up here and complete this ABCD. So that leaves some room against the Bitcoin chart. I might go and nibble on this. I do like the location a lot. And do I have anything else crypto? FTT. I don't love location. I mean, well, it depends how you look at this FTT. I think I saw Fred talking about this yesterday, and I do like the way it's setting up. I guess the location's pretty good on this. I was thinking that there was a lot more move lower in the past. I don't know if Binance, this is FTX, so this is the exchange token for FTX, I think. So they might have more history. I don't know if you can look at it We could probably look at it there. Oh yeah, I knew it. Yeah, so right. Yeah, location's not so great when you consider all this history back here, but if you do take this as the previous bottom, then a 78.6 is pretty good location here. MACD div coming in. So it's one I'm watching. I can't trade on FTX, but Binance I can. So I'm kind of interested in this. I do like how the divs are setting up. Maybe a nice W coming in here would confirm that trade for me. It looks like this little MACD div will probably confirm today, as long as price can stay higher. Yeah, maybe that. I don't know. I guess I have to zoom in there. Yeah, if price stays where it is or moves higher, we'll get this like little div coming in, and then the larger div is still working on it. But that one looks pretty good. And then I've been watching one bot just kind of for fun on this Eternity. I'm already long this thing, this little old lady. And I was kind of watching this today, just going like, well, it's sort of set up. It's not. It doesn't look perfect to me. I kind of prefer maybe one more W. Maybe get these. Maybe get the indicators looking a little more W-ish. You know, OBV's not really an M, but it is kind of breaking down today. You know, if it could set up. You know, I do like RSI W here. And then I would prefer a nice solid MACD W here for a bot, but I guess it's in there. It's a little wonky, but you know, maybe a W on this side of the trend line would set up this bot LJ. But I think the target's reasonable and stuff if you know zoom out a bit. I think a double would be up here somewhere, so that seems even reasonable too. If crypto can keep moving higher, then I like that bot. And I think that's about it. The other ones have kind of popped. Or EOS was looking pretty decent, I think. I think I was looking at this on the weekly level. I had taken this little 2-to-1 trade, and it did hit its target. And then on the weekly level, I was thinking or maybe I was looking at BTC because I thought let's see, EOS, BTC. No weekly W there. Then I don't know what I was thinking here. That doesn't. Yeah, this looks just. I mean, it looks okay. Momentum's just kind of. I guess we do have this sort of bullish MACD potential coming in on the weekly, and then you know, the daily looks like it did confirm the MACD div on this big pop up. So I don't know about this this one. There's no real structure to work with, but I want to go back to that USD chart really quick and just look at it. Yeah, like I sold some of mine at this target here, which actually was a bot target too. I just kind of took the W because I wanted to be long EOS, and I basically had this MACD div coming in, and I just took this W and took a 2-to-1 trade. But nonetheless, like the bot did. I don't know if the bot set up that well. I suppose you could have. Yeah, I don't know if the bot really set up that well, but it did complete, so I don't know if that means we got to pull back a little bit and maybe go sideways and consolidate before it can move higher. Kind of looks like, yeah, I don't know. EOS, it was on my list though, so I don't love it at this point. I do have one more we might as well look at. Nano is on my list for right now. And I just kind of, like Brian was talking about, your short list with crypto. I mean, I basically scroll through everything on crypto. I kind of consider all of Binance and Bittrex my watch list, and Coinbase. And I just kind of, I'm constantly cycling through these names, just looking at them, seeing what people are posting in the lounge. A lot of these ideas, I just straight up see people post in the lounge, and I just write them down and make sure I come back and look at them. Like this Nano, I don't remember where I got clued into this, but I do like the potential weekly W coming in. Sort of made a new low here, so this didn't weekly W, but I still like how it looks. MACD div did confirm on this move here, so I'm not long this at all. I suppose this kind of looks a lot like Poly. It looks like those, you know, the couple that I've shown you already that have W'd at right at Mountain Man. So they're not quite bots, and they're a little bit high location for like a L Tanganator long, but still reason. I mean, if you'd have bought that W, I think that's a reasonable trade. Now maybe it's a little late. We're gonna have to wait. Except for little old ladies, I don't know. I could see if you're taking tiny risk and you just want to nibble, then I could see. I don't think you need to chase this, but I don't see there's anything wrong with a nibble here. You know, you might not get a double this season. Maybe you do. But I mean, the chart looks good. I love these long, wide bottoms. It's nice to see in crypto that we're actually starting to see these this thing's a year long. Yeah, that's like July back there. So for a year, this thing's basically been just kind of grinding sideways,
Longer the
which I
channel,
think,
the bigger the run.
yeah, I mean, that's what we want to see. Maybe this is what sets up the, really big move for
Looks to me
next
like
year.
that was absolute textbook reload zone backup there, right?
Yeah, right here. I mean, you look at 78.6 might have just not given you a fill, but that's funny. They just backed it up to 78.6 and just, I mean, that's testament to usually, like, if I was going to work my order here, I would work it a couple ticks higher. I might still not have gotten a fill, but I don't typically work my order right at the level. I always, especially with like W breakouts and stuff too, I'll usually work or always, not even usually, I always work my level a little bit above the breakout. So I don't know. I think that's about it for crypto. I mean, if anybody else wants me to look at something really quick,
well, we
could.
At 10:30 now, so
Yeah,
I
totally.
think we did a great job, and of course we got the meeting tonight.
Doge. Well, Doge is just
look at Doge. What the hell? Placate chain.
I mean, Doge kind of. Unfortunately, I mean, I got the sickest fill on Doge, but now it's just kind of whatever. Like, on Bittrex, this didn't happen on Binance, but I had my order working from back here. I was just nibbling on Doge as it went lower, and I still had my order working. So after this pop, it just slammed down and literally filled me at 24, which was cool. And then I just put an order in at 48 and never got back up there. And now it's just sideways. I mean, I'm sure I think it looks better on Binance because you don't see that tail, but
looks like it's a buy.
Yeah, I mean, it's 88.6 right now. It's a little bit above 88.6. I guess you can't. I don't know. Doge is weird with divs because it does do so much of this kind of block trading. But I mean, I'm totally.
What it looks like versus U.S. dollar. Somebody said it looks good versus U.S. dollar.
I guess we could look at. I mean, Trex probably has the most. Oh, wow. Trex actually trades it against U.S. dollar. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean.
Bit lofty.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad, but it's not really a buy. I suppose I don't know. I'm not even
probably
really
trying to set up in there somewhere, but
yeah, you could set the bot up
to the party. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like we got down to the bot would be live still. Yeah, I guess you could bot off that level there. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of buying Doge under 30 sats. Anywhere under 30 sats if you want to take a nibble on Doge. Like if you want to be a real crypto trader, you got to buy a little bit.
You have to have some on the books.
Just a little bit. I mean, if you want to nibble on Doge, I don't see why it's a problem right now. I mean, like it's this thing. If you had your order working here, the thing about Doge, it has to like slam against and fill everybody. So you got to be patient. I usually like to, I'll just like through here. I think I started buying at 29. Was I buying at 29? Yeah, I think 29 and down was kind of where I was interested in Doge. And I just kind of, through this whole period right here, it was just kind of filling me. I got filled all the way. I literally had 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. I had orders working every way down. Just because I kind of just operate my own little old lady Doge plan where I just nibble away, super small stake. And, yeah, like anything below 70. I'm 70, but I'm talking at 30. Like in this case, would have been a decent buy. You'd have probably gotten your double. Yeah, 60. I gotta sell off at 59. Looks like 60 would have been. You might not have gotten filled if your order was working there, because it probably didn't fill everybody. But nonetheless, I like Doge. Looks good. Sucks. This was the whole TikTok pump, right? TikTok kids went and pumped Doge.
Didn't they say they were taking it to like $20 or something?
Or to $1, but I mean, dollar Doge is like way up, right? How much is Doge again? Yeah, it's only a third of a penny. Is that what that is? Yeah, so I mean, $1 Doge would be awesome.
Anybody wants to know what Doge is on the YouTube page? I'll just throw it up. Watch this later on. That's Doge.
Wait, what are you doing?
You gotta, I don't know whether it'll show on. There it is. Yep, there's Doge. Awesome. So, and then there's one other image of Doge that we have to see.
Oh, you're showing it on the YouTube page. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, Dogecoin. Cool.
I don't have a picture of Shane in his go-go pants. Where's his go-go pants? Oh, darn.
Or I
Anyway.
could show you the picture from the meeting.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's Doge. All right,
All right, guys.
so and I can officially. Hey, I got a picture of me and the guy who created Doge. So he and I are best buddies. Although he probably doesn't even remember me.
I think that guy's cool, like the Jackson Palmer guy. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had his picture up here. I should have kept it open.
I think he's cool. You know, he doesn't even have a position in Doge. He like sold his Doge long. He didn't want to. Like, if I remember correctly, he didn't really want to like profit off of it. So he just kind of, after he made it, he just like didn't hold any.
Yeah, he's a purist.
That is pure. He's like a software developer. I don't even think he's really that involved in crypto, to be honest.
Well, and it makes sense. I mean, everybody. Yeah, here's the picture of me and him together at the Dogecoin. There he is. Anybody watching on the YouTube page? That's the creator of Doge, and that's your fearless idiot leader.
Should kick over to it in a minute. Oh yeah, there he is.
Anyway. Hey, look at that! You got the
What are
YouTube
you're wearing
page
like
on
a
there.
rocket?
Now I
Is that
flip
like
back
a?
to you. Okay, well, on that note, shall we call it a day?
Yeah, hopefully I had some for you guys to chew on. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's lots of good stuff. Awesome stuff. You know, if you want to play Doge on Momentum, I mean, everybody could see the W there. It's as plain as day.
Yeah.
You could even LJ that because it looks like the W will come in on the other side of a trend line. So, I mean, I could see a trade. You know, do you have your plan in there? You're going to buy on the breakout of that W? And are you going to risk against the bottom of the W? It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, if you look on Binance, the actual low is a little higher. I don't think this tail is on Binance. But
Yeah.
that was just some freaky thing. But I was shocked when I got that fill. I was like, wow.
Freaky
cool.
freak.
My
All right.
order was old, though.
What do you think? Shall we call it a day?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed the frivolity. Thank you so much, Kevin. Great content, and hopefully the two of us have given you some stuff to think about today. The only thing I suppose left for us to do at this point is take us out of here, so the only thing we left for us to say here is...
Bye for now.